Hi, folks. Welcome back to Critical Corner. I thought about this movie. I was a small boy. It's called Network. It was made in 1976. I was almost 20 years old. I'm 64 now. And you're probably wondering why I'm talking about it. It's a very dark satire on the condition of television in the United States. Remember, this is 1976. When they made this movie, Gerald Ford was president, okay? This is even before Jimmy Carter. And there's a character in it called Howard Beale. He's a older, well-known, well-respected news anchorman who has a breakdown and says some dumb things on the air. They were going to can him, but he talks them into saying a farewell to his audience so he doesn't go out looking bad like a nut. And he comes out. Now remember, this is almost 45 years ago. Like I said, I'm 64. And I want you to think about the words here. Peter Finch plays the part. And there's no way that I could act it nearly as well as him. So I'm not even going to try. But I want you to listen to the words. I'll try to put some emphasis where I think they should be. But I am not an actor, so not even a voice actor. And I want you to listen to this. And I want you to play it again and again. And I want you to get an idea. I would play the clip, but I'm afraid there'll be a copyright strike, so I don't want to do that. But the words should be listened to. What's happened in the last 4 years in this country in media. Now, of course, this is before the internet, and they're going to mention the word tube a lot in his little speech. Tube, he's referring to television. Now, when you hear tube or television, think internet as well, and cable news when you listen to this. And I want you to really, really, truly think about it. And I'll say a short thing at the end after I read it. I'll do my best. Like I said, I'm not an actor. This is the monologue he's going to give. And after he gives this monologue in the movie, it becomes such a huge hit that they have a regular television show with him. Now, obviously, the man's unhinged. He's got all kinds of mental problems. But they let him continue on because it's the ratings. It's money. So let me give you a little backdrop. An older gentleman that he knows by the name of George Ruddy that ran is called UBI Television Network. It's a fake network, of course, because it's, a movie. Even though they do mention the other networks. There's no CNN back then. There's no MSNBC. Just ABC, CBS, NBC, and this network. There's 4 of them, UBI. That stands for the Union Broadcasting System. And he just lets rip it. Let it rip. That I think a lot of us in the country we felt for the last 4 years. Now, I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm a Trump supporter, so don't turn off the video now. Please listen if you're not. And just think about what's being said and think about it hard. Now, some of you or so, your ideology has you possessed so badly that you would never understand. But there's many of you out there, in fact, the majority of you out there that will understand. And I'll say a little piece at the end, just to give you my 2 cents worth. So this is from 1976, one of the monologues of Howard Beale is his name in the movie, played by Peter Finch. I am not an actor, but I will do my best. And it goes as such. He comes out, turns to the audience, and says, sadly, George Rudy died today. He was the chairman of the board of UBI, the Union Broadcasting System. Woe is us. We're in a lot of trouble. So a rich little white-haired old man died. What does that have to do with the price of rice, right? And why is that woe to us? Because you people and 62 million other Americans are listening to me right now. Because less than 3% of you read books. Less than 15% of you read newspapers. Because the only truth you know is what you get through this tube. Right now, there is a whole entire generation that didn't know anything that didn't come out of this tube. This tube is the gospel, the ultimate revelation. This tube can make or break presidents, popes, prime ministers. This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world, and woe is us if it ever falls into the wrong hands of the wrong people. And that's why woe is us that George Rudy died, because this company is in the hands of CCA, the Communications Corporation of America. There is a new chairman of the board called Frank Hackett sitting in Mr. Rudy's office on the 20th floor. And when the 12th largest company in the world controls the most awesome goddamn propaganda force in the whole godless world, who knows what shit will be peddled for truth on this network. So listen to me. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. So if you want the truth, go to God. Go see your guru. Go to your cells, because that's the only place you're ever going to find any real truth. You are never going to get the truth from us. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We'll lie like hell. We'll tell you that Kojak always gets the killer and nobody ever gets cancer in Archie Bunker's house. And no matter how much trouble the hero is in, don't worry, just look at your watch, and at the end of the hour, he's going to win. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man, and none of this is true. But you people sit here day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you love. You're beginning to believe the illusions. You're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you to do. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion. So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right now in the middle of the sentence. I'm speaking. Turn them off. And then he collapses on the stage. And I remember, I've seen this a few times over the years. And I remember, I didn't watch it when it first came out. I watched it later, showing my age now, VHS tapes. And I remember when HBO had their channel on cable. You had to pay extra to get HBO and you could watch movies, and it was on there in the early 80s. And I've seen it several times. And I ran across it just by accident on the internet. And it made me think in the last 4 years. So those of you out there, think hard about those words. Hopefully I portrayed them correctly. I am not an actor. Think about what you're going to do the next 2, 3, 4 days. How many times are you going to look at your phone to answer a text or look something up online? When was the next time you're going to sit parked in front of the TV or the internet, watching TV, cable news, whether it be online or through cable? Think about the bullshit that you're hearing every day that you don't know it is. And slowly over time, you're being convinced that things they say are true aren't. This isn't about politics. And this isn't about what side you're on, even though sides are forming very quickly. The next 2, 3, 4 years, those lines are going to be definitely going to be formed rigidly. Think about you, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your children, your friends, your acquaintances. Think about them. And even if you live alone and are lonely, get the hell out of the house. Read a book. Even if you wanted to, get an audio book. If you have trouble reading or you just don't want to sit there like that with a light on, and if you're like me, you have to wear your glasses, your bifocals to read, get an audio book. Vast majority of libraries have them. In fact, the library here, I live in upstate New York, if you can go online and see what they have. And then you order it, even with COVID. They'll get it for you at the door with a library card. You take it out like any other book. Do that for a day or two and see how it goes. Don't talk on your phone. Don't text. Don't go on the internet. Don't do any of that. Especially now, a lot of us that are locked down unlawfully, I might add, and unconstitutionally, now have the time to do this. Maybe there's some silver lining out of all this overbearing of government on our rights, the unconstitutionality of it all. Maybe we can get a silver lining that some of us can say, you know what, fuck this. I'm tired of listening to this shit. I'm going to read what I want to read, think how I want to think. Spend some time with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Get a puzzle. Sit down. I mean, simple things. What would happen if you went back in time and it was 1900, 1890, 1880? You have electricity. They had lights. They had all that stuff. But no phones. What do they do to entertain themselves and what do they do to entertain each other? Think about that for a minute. That if the power went out in your house and in the neighborhood or the city you live in for 24 hours, besides food and heat, what would you do? How would you amuse yourselves? Think about that. And then try it. Try it for a whole day. No technology for a whole day besides the things you need to live, of course, like lights, heat, your stove, food, refrigerators. But besides that, no technology. Try it and see what happens. And then the next week rolls around, try it again. 1 day a week, just 1 day. And do that for a while. Even if sometimes it's really, really hard, where you can hear your phone going, beep, 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 a message is coming in, ignore it. And tell the people you care about, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your children, some of your close friends, that you won't be answering your texts coming up this day. Do it and see what happens. And see what happens. I suggest, even though this is a very dark satire movie, and it's tongue-in-cheek, a lot of it, but it's not meant to be funny like ha-ha funny. It is like most great satire. It is right on the money. It hits the nail right on the head. As crazy as this sounds, after you hear this and take the time to watch this movie, pay the $2. Watch it online. Who cares? Who cares about $2? And then think about what's going on in it. And then think about your life. Look in the mirror and decide, what the hell am I doing? Why am I letting these people make my decisions for me? And I thought this would be an interesting segue. And I've been wanting to do this for several weeks now, especially after the last election. So until next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.